Mr. Mteto, good morning, and thank you very much for your time. One of the assertions that have been made is that the public protector this time around acted outside of authority in the Bosasa, for example, donation probe. Did she do that?
I'm not sure about that. I worked under two public protectors when I started with Advocate Mushwana. We had an appeal that was brought to the appeals court by the Mail and Guardian relating what was called then the oil gate. We were ordered then that we cannot investigate matters that have fallen beyond the state, like where the money ended up in the hands of the ANC individuals in the Oilgate case. The court ruled then that we have to follow the money. And that's what we did. In fact, that Mail and Guardian case was just like State versus Kanyele in the legal aid matters, where it ruled that an unrepresented accused has to be represented. So when everybody within the public protector came, we made sure that the Mail and Guardian case was like, if I may say, a Bible. The way that if you start working at the bank, you go to the waste and read it, because it formed the basis upon which for all investigations were to be conducted. We follow the money. And in this particular instance, I'm not sure. I would definitely like to hear what the Constitutional Court says. I really doubt if the public protector went beyond the means, if we were to look what the appeal court ruled then in the Petro SA case, otherwise called the Oil Gate.
Now, if you're following the money as the public protector's office in your investigation, as you say, you had to follow the money in that Petro SA Oil Gate scandal earlier on, when you were chief executive officer of the public protector's office, and someone comes to you and says, I've got some documents, I've got some information, can the public protector simply ignore them simply because she doesn't know how these were obtained, or maybe they were obtained without permission?
Okay, in terms of South Africa's Whistleblowers Act, we call them whistleblowing laws, basically. It is the AG, the Attorney General, and the Public Protector who can protect the whistleblowers, in the sense that if they've given you the information, it is up to the Public Protector then to look and investigate those things that have been given to her. So it will be very interesting to rule, to find out what is the ruling of the Constitutional Court says about those allegations, because he's a guardian of whistleblowing. And definitely, you look at the truthfulness of what has been given to the public protector and protect the whistleblower.
You're protecting the whistleblower on the one hand, but somebody like the president has said there's a privacy issue, and we all have a constitutional right to privacy. What are the limitations then to the powers of the public protector, like in this in protecting whistleblowers, for example?
Okay, the Act, of course, the disclosure, whatever you call it, is clear on that. Of course, it may definitely now need interpretation by the Constitutional Court, because I remember during my tenure, at some stage, even the former public protector, Thuli Madonsela, complained that he has never been able to protect the whistleblower during her term. When I was still there, and we were trying by all means to look at the review of our whistleblowing act, legislation. But that have been said, I still believe that anybody now will be scared to go to the public protector and whistleblow, of which is what we need, or to go to the Attorney General and whistleblow, if those will even be questioned by the state itself.
Are there limitations to the public protector's powers?
Can I get the question?
Are there limitations to the public protector's powers?
Yes, of course. Oh yes, there are limitations in the public. The public protector definitely cannot investigate private individuals, cannot investigate private companies, of course. But as I've referred to the case of the Malian Guardian, otherwise called the Petro SA case, the court, the highest court in the country at the time, ruled that definitely you have to follow the money.
Now, there's a view that says the public protector cannot recommend or order other state organs like the NPA to investigate something, like she did now with the suspicion of money laundering in the Bosasa donation case. Does she have the power to direct organs of state to take certain steps like prosecution?
Okay, what I will say, as early as 2016, the Constitutional Court ruled in the EFF matter. In fact, we had a long debate for almost 6-7 years when I was the CEO at the Public Protector. There was a long debate as to whether the remedial actions as provided by the Act to the Public Protector are binding. So when I had left there, I clapped my hand when I heard that the Constitutional Court had ruled that those remedial actions are actually binding unless set aside by the court. So it will be very interesting to see what the Constitutional Court will rule now based on the 2016 decision in the EFF, where it actually ruled that the Public Protector's remedial actions are in fact binding until set aside by the court or by the court order or whatever the case may be.
But can she?
So my
can
view
she order?
Is that
Sorry, Mr. Mthethwa,
whatever the Public Protector has ruled, it is in fact binding until set aside based on that Constitutional Court decision.
Yeah, we seem to have a bit of a challenge with you hearing me clearly. I wanted to know, can she direct an organ of state like the NPA or the Hawks to take steps like prosecution?
Okay, those are independent state institutions. Of course, one of the limitations is that the Public Protector cannot recommend or cannot, in fact, investigate criminal conduct. In these instances, what has been the case is that during the course of the investigations, if the Public Protector came across what we call criminal conduct, she will refer the matter to the NPA. And of course, it's up to the NPA itself to decide what it intends to do with that information provided by the Public Protector.
Thank you very much there. That's Themba Mthethwa for being with us this morning, a former Chief Executive Officer of the Office of the Public Protector. He served under former Public Protectors Lawrence Mshwana and also Thuli Madonsela.